All right, so hey, my opinion on this recent attack that the United States launched on one of the top Iranian officials, Soleimani. I think it was appropriate. I think it was well measured, and I think it really sent a signal to not only the Iranian regime but to the rest of the world that the United States of America won't be played. We won't be messed with, and we're not going to tolerate, you guys trying to push buttons and see what you can get away with. I don't know why all of a sudden they thought they could get away with something like that with the commander-in-chief who's already shown in the past couple of years that he's been president that he would use violence, that he would use our superior military to strike around the world. Maybe it was because of the impeachment thing. Maybe it's because he's going into an election year. I'm really not sure what the hell they were thinking, but I think it was pretty foolish of them to use, their own people and their proxies to attack our embassy in Baghdad. And I think this attack really showed some wisdom, not only by the president, but by his top senior military officials, because it was a precision strike and it targeted one of their top guys. We didn't just take out a sentry or a guard, or somebody that didn't matter to them. We took out a very important chess piece for them. And I tell you what that does. Now, you might see these guys on TV, talking about retribution and retaliation and pumping up the crowd, as they go to this guy's funeral. But I'll tell you what, every single one of those, key Iranian officials and their leadership now is scared. I'll tell you why they're scared, because they are wondering, is my ticket going to get punched next? If they could launch, a missile and take this guy out, they can do the same to me. And that's what happens. Unfortunately, that's the only language that these guys really understand. I mean, they've been the lead sponsor of global terrorism now for a very long time. This is what they do. And the only language that they speak is violence. And so that's, you're not going to go over there and hug it out with them. You're not going to negotiate with them. You have to see their move and you have to raise them by 100. And that's what the president of the United States just did. And I've always believed, that the best defense is a good offense. I've seen it in my own deployments, when we were over there wrapping up bad guys and noticed how there were no attacks on U.S. soil back home. And that's just because when you're taking the fight to the enemy on their soil, they don't have the time, the energy, and the resources to plot against us here. And the last thing I want to say is, for all of you out there that are worried because you know that Iran is threatening to retaliate, I'll tell you this. A lot of you out there think that we can just be isolationists, sit on our asses, leave them alone, and they'll leave us alone. Well, I want you to think back to 9/11. I want you to think back to Pearl Harbor. If you think that a lot of these, our enemies and a lot of these evil folks out there are just going to leave us alone, I want you to think back to those times. The United States has been shown over and over again that if we sit on our ass and we don't do anything and we let, these guys just do whatever the hell they want to on the world scene, eventually we will get hit here. And so we can either take the fight to them or they'll bring it to us.